Joined here by Melinda Ortega. And Melinda, we appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Like we were talking, it feels crazy, doesn't it? We're already into the spring season. You guys didn't
Right.
get a fall season, but I mean, how excited are you guys to know that you're getting a chance to play here soon?
I mean, it's super exciting. We've been waiting a very long time because of COVID and everything that's been going on. But super excited to see the dynamic of the team. We're all super new with each other and we're ready to just see each other play and have a good time. So, yeah.
How tough was it not to have, the normal fall season? Because, normally you guys would have played, multiple months ago. You didn't get a
Right.
chance to play. So, I mean, how tough was it just to stay, motivated and keep practicing to get ready for, getting this spring season
Right.
going?
As a senior, fall season was about to be like our last season. It was just kind of knowing that we will have games eventually. It was just kind of dedication and seeing the team and how they all work together. And we all love each other and we love the sport, so ultimately that's why we're here and just excited to see how we play.
So one thing I've noticed too, I've been out to a few of your guys' practices, came to the scrimmage, a few weeks ago, and
Yeah.
so how was the adjustment? Was it for you? Like you said, being a senior, this team had a lot of new faces. We brought in a really big recruiting class.
Right.
How do you feel like they've kind of adjusted to being in college and playing with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, these girls are great, super fast paced. They came in, they have really big shoes to fill. So I think they've done a great job, knowing the game. Coach Casey does a great job adjusting the players where they need to be. And yeah, just super excited about that. We did have a scrimmage against each other, which was really nice. That was like our first kind of game to see how we all play.
And how do you feel kind of your game's adjusted? Because, first of all, can you believe you're a senior already? And then,
Right.
second, just, how have you kind of seen your game adjust, from when you came in as a true freshman,
Right.
several years ago to now where you're at this point in your career?
Right, completely different. Yeah, I mean, senior year is a lot different than what I anticipated my freshman year. The style, online learning, adjusting, playing with masks, that's a big one. I was already like struggling fitness wise, and then adding on the mask kind of makes you want to work harder. Yeah, just senior year in general has given me a greater insight, the transitioning aspect. I think I've adjusted very nice, and so has the freshman girls. They anticipated themselves to go through preseason, season, like how we normally would, but I think these girls are doing great, and I'm super excited about it all kind of going forth with games and being able to finally play. So, yeah.
And you kind of touched on it too, moving to online classes is obviously totally different from, in person. So, how tough was that? We're already a year removed from it, but it's crazy to
Right.
think last year we were into March, you guys had to do the complete online learning, had to go, remote workouts and everything. So how hard was that to kind of shift into and then, kind of adjusted that throughout the summer and then the fall and then
Yeah.
getting back into the spring?
It was definitely difficult at first. I mean, if anything, it was just kind of like we thought it was going to be temporary. It was kind of a nice way to go back home with family, but also realize that it's changing as a whole. And sometimes some classes are hard and some are difficult, but overall, I think it's just new and we're trying our hardest to adjust.
How much of a change did you see because you were here with, the previous coaching staff and then Casey came in, for 2019. Obviously we had a really good season in her first
Amazing
year
year.
and it was just a great season. So, kind of how was that whole adjustment and how nice was it to have, a season like you guys had
Right.
last time?
Casey came in like amazing. She is such a great coach. She understands us on another level. Like it's the same group of girls with a different coaching staff, and just to see having a change of a coach and adjust all of us and see where we went so far. It was just we have the talent, we have the skill. I think we just needed somebody to guide us to that, and she did an amazing job with that, as well as the other coaching staff. They all are super dedicated to us. They all want us to succeed, and that's what she's doing now.
What is it about the sport of soccer that kind of drew you into it early on in your career and then,
Yeah.
eventually pursued it in college?
I think it was just one of those things that I was good at from a young age and decided to pursue onto college. It's actually a way for me to get an education, a paid education, and super grateful for all the experiences that I've had from the girls that I was with freshman year, sophomore year, and so on. Just super grateful overall. I love the sport. I'm excited to play, and that's why I'm still here, because I want to get my chance to have at least a senior game, to have a scrimmage where we can all just play and enjoy the game.
And again, being a senior, just talk about, your major and what you plan to do with your degree once you're done with being here at WU.
Right. So I am majoring in psychology with a minor in forensic psychology, and I'm planning to work at a detention center, like a juvenile parole officer, just be a resources for kids who come from a low socioeconomic status and maybe got into some trouble, but that's ultimately my goal when I go back home.
All right, the last thing for you too, you're originally from California, so
Yeah.
kind of what was the draw to come up to Oregon and specifically Western Oregon for you?
Western Oregon as a whole is an amazing school. They have great programs. The soccer team is amazing. I love everything about it. I mean, the small class sizes was definitely something that drew my attention, and just overall Oregon as a whole, I love Oregon. I think it's super beautiful. The rain was something hard to adjust to, but overall, I call this my second home, actually my home, if anything. Yeah, super grateful to be here.
All right, Melinda. Well, we really appreciate you taking the time to swing by and catch up with us today,
Yeah.
and best of luck this season. We look forward to catching up with you again soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.